Well, what's good, everybody? This is Blaze Reviews, where we hitting you with all the latest movie reviews, but on a higher level. I'm Kay.
And I'm Rick.
And for today's movie review session, we got to take a hit of the latest action, horror, war joint rolled up by J.J. Oh, wait, man. He didn't direct this, huh?
No.
Oh.
His name's on everything, though, but yeah.
Well, I guess nobody cares about the director because they didn't mention him much in the marketing, but I mean, the movie we're talking about being Overlord. And I didn't get a chance to see the movie, but you did, so
I did.
I'll let you take it from here.
Yeah, so it's about a team of a little squadron. They go into Nazi Germany, or Nazi-occupied France, excuse me. They go into Nazi-occupied France, and they have to destroy a church radio tower that the Nazis are operating. Mm-hmm. And that's their mission, and they don't let you forget it in this movie. Not good as they mention it every 5 minutes. So we're going to get into all the highs and downers. Start with the highs. So first, I really like the cinematography. I mean, honestly, I know I mentioned that a lot on this channel, but you know, the way a movie looks is a big deal because every movie looks different. Every movie.
Don't want to look at something that look like shit.
Oh man, every movie's going for a different type of feel.
What kind of feel were they going for? Was it like more of the Quentin Tarantino and Glorious Bastards?
No, most definitely not. They were going more for their own like sci-fi-ish kind of like World War II like sci-fi thing.
What was that? The zombie Hitler people or whatever?
Yes.
Like that kind of thing?
Yeah, that kind of thing. Yeah. You talking about Dead Snow?
Yeah, that one.
Yeah, it was actually a lot like that. Yeah, okay. they were going for that kind of.
I kind of got some of those.
Not satirical or anything, but they were going for that look. Mm-hmm. And so the way it looked was very smooth. Editing. For what it was, I wasn't taken out of the film by the editing because that can happen. Mm-hmm. Also the lead, Jovan Adepo, he played Private Boyce, and I actually do remember his name, the character's name Boyce, because they said that every 5 minutes. This squad was part of Airborne, so they paratrooper down, and they were to go on their mission, had explosives and everything. So the opening. It was CGI filled, but it didn't like bother me.
It didn't look like shitty.
Yeah, it didn't bother me. I was like, okay, no, it looks fine. Because I mean, it was just 100% CGI. The clouds, the planes, everything. It was a scene of them flying in, and then you see it in the trailer, they're getting shot down and stuff. Mm-hmm. That scene, it ranks up there with that sequence from Edge of Tomorrow.
Oh yeah.
It ranks up there. Yeah, so it's done well. Also, the effects, because there was some practical and some CGI stuff. I thought they mixed it well with the creatures, because in the trailer you see that there's creatures and there's a strange serum and stuff. Yeah, that whole thing. Soldiers for 1,000-year army. Exactly. And so all of that it came together well in the film.
What about the action though?
The action was good actually. Yeah. There wasn't a ton of action. There was a lot less than I was hoping for. I didn't know what kind of thing they were going for going in, but it turns out there was a lot less than I was hoping for. Yeah. So we'll actually switch over to the downers on that one.
Fool this man!
So unfortunately, when they were not fighting the soldier mutant creatures, it was boring, dude. They were just talking and arguing the whole time.
So boring dialogue and stuff.
Yeah,
like that.
it was just like, man, there's nothing happening. I was hoping because you can tell pretty early on, okay, this is gonna be a slow movie. Mm-hmm. But I'm hoping it would be one of those deliberate unfolding mystery things, and you'd be like, oh my goodness, like this is crazy. Nah, it was super straightforward, and they just were arguing about, hey, we got to go here. And so at one point, I mean, they didn't even spend as much time in the church, because in the movie, the lab, the Nazi lab that you see is in that church where they have to do where they have to destroy the radio tower. Mm-hmm. So I'm thinking that they're gonna like pull a Resident Evil, venture into Raccoon City, do their thing, get caught up in all this crap, and have to blast their way out of there. That was not the case. I was really let down by that. Unfortunately, this wasn't as good of a war film as something like Miracle at St. Anna, which was a World War II film as well. This wasn't as good of an action film as something cult horror fans may know what I'm talking about here. Mutant Chronicles, starring Thomas Jane and Ron Perlman. I've seen that film several times. It's just very enjoyable. It's based on a video game, I believe, or a graphic novel or something. But that was just really enjoyable. It had a similar premise of undead soldiers. Undead soldiers that were like mutated and disfigured a little bit. Yeah, it had a very similar premise in that way. And a squad had to go in and, you know, stop this and that. But it wasn't as good as that, unfortunately. It wasn't as fun.
Dang.
Yeah.
So it let you down. You was like anticipating this movie.
I was, dude, man, not I Frankenstein level. Not on that level. I will never do that again. But and then it wasn't as good of a horror film as Resident Evil 3, Resident Evil Extinction. It just failed on all three of those little levels. I was hoping it would.
But what about the twist
something.
though? With the whole, because in the trailer they're talking about they're serving a purpose. So
right,
like,
that was hot air. Unfortunately, that was just something cool to say. Like there was no purpose. They were just trying to make some soldiers that would never die. Like,
which they tell you in the trailer.
Right, exactly, and that's the whole thing.
I thought something special was gonna happen or something at the end.
And I was hoping that I was hoping for like a Resident Evil kind of thing with that, like a survival horror thing. It doesn't even go there. I was like, so what? Yeah. It's actually about the mission of destroying the radio tower.
That's it.
It just so happens that they run into this like thing where they're experimenting on people, and they barely touch on it. They like the little creatures. You see a couple of them in the trailer running after. Those are like all the shots of the creatures.
Oh, so they don't get like more advanced or more.
No.
Okay, I thought
those are like all the creatures. Yeah,
I thought it was like the first test subject.
That's all of them. No. That's all of them. Yeah, that's everything. And so unfortunately, I could tell like. Getting into the second half of Act 2B, I call it. Act 1, Act 2A, Act 2B, Act 3. As we were getting into Act 2B, I said, oh, dear Lord, all the actions in the last 20 minutes.
Oh, so wait, all the action you said was kind of all right. Was just in the...
Yeah, it was just in the end. Yeah.
They were just a snooze fest leading up to the end.
Man, I was sitting there like, like, this isn't going to be really entertaining, is it?
How you make an action war movie?
They were trying. I think they were trying to go for a character-driven thing with battles of morality and such. Mm-hmm. But it just didn't jump the scale enough to like cross over into that, and so it ended up being just a little bit bland. Mm-hmm. And so by the time you get to like the showdown, so to speak, they left a lot on the table. Yeah, I feel like they left a lot on the table in that regard.
I might not have to go see this opening night now.
Because you never, like, I was hoping for a whole thing where they were having a fight, like the squad was gonna have to fight off, like, dozens of these super soldiers
or whatever.
Never goes there.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's disappointing.
They do 1-on-1 with like two of them, and then like that's it. Yeah. It was like, wow, really? Yeah, I was shocked.
Maybe J.J. Abrams should have directed this thing, man.
Oof, man, but they had $38 million, and I thought they used it well throughout the way that they had it. I mean, they only had like 2 sets.
Too bad they ain't gonna make none of that money back this weekend.
The little French town that they were in, and then the church. That's basically it. Mm-hmm. Wyatt Russell, he played Corporal Ford. I thought Wyatt Russell was a good. He did pretty well. He was in an episode of Black Mirror. He's actually the son of Kurt Russell. Oh. Yeah, and so I thought there were some shots they took where like, man, he really looked like Kurt Russell in a couple of shots. Yeah, I was like, man, they were taking advantage of that.
Yeah, I kind of see that from.
Well, Kurt Russell used to be an action star, like a big time action star in the 80s and 90s. Soldier's one of my favorite films by him. But yeah, they got some mileage out of Wyatt Russell, and besides Wyatt Russell and Jovan Adepo, everyone else was just kind of like. Oh, that's that guy. Oh, yeah, he's the foul-talking New Yorker, and he's the tall, skinny Jewish guy who's like, oh, man, imagine what they would do if they captured me, and things like that.
Everybody just came generic stereotypes.
Right, yeah, and, like I said, they left a lot on the table.
Even the villain was like a stereotype?
Oh, my goodness, the villain. Whew, the villain. I thought they killed him at one point. Like, it's just like, I mean... to me, that's not even a spoiler. It's just you're watching it, and it just kind of devolves a little bit towards Act 3, and you're like, man, where's this going? But all in all, I gotta give it some low Reggie, like just because it is worth the effects, and some of the acting is pretty. They're trying, and you know, I was hoping for tension before the action. There wasn't any tension. It was just, hey, this is the mission. This is the mission. We got to do this. We got to go back. We got to go over here. Yeah, it was
no twist,
super
no
straightforward. Super straightforward. Had some wise guy calling out everything as if he was calling some great revelations. I was like, no, this is just straightforward.
Like, no, bro, we all knew that was coming.
Yeah.
Bro. You ain't got to shout it out.
Yeah, the audience was pretty quiet during a lot of it. Yeah.
That's bad for early screening.
That's terrible for these types of movies, for these types of screenings, yeah. But, you know, low Reggie, unfortunately. But hey, that's just my opinion.
Yeah, what does he know? The critics love this movie. He ain't no critic, so. What we're going to know is, what did you guys think of Overlord? Were you hyped to go see it like we were? Or were you disappointed by it like he was? Let us know by sparking up in the comment section below. And hey, like what we're doing here, hit that like button. Make sure you hit that subscribe button to join the Blaze crew, where we always getting high off all these movies. I'm Kay.
And I'm A. Rick.
And always remember, Blaze it.